Okay, I've been waiting for this episode for a while. Bentley is one of my favorite characters to play as. We'll get to that in a bit. What's going on, everyone? It's the Niskel. Welcome back to Spyro, Year of the Dragon. In the last episode, we got all the gems and everything in Evening Lake, did a speedway, beat a boss. Wow, we did do a lot in the last episode. But now it's time to play as my favorite person!
I will gladly help you on your quest, Spyro, but first I must attend to my young sibling. I'm afraid he may have gotten himself into trouble during my absence.
Yeah, that's cool, man. We can help out if you've got a family member in need. We'll be glad to help. Now, the reason I like Bentley, he is all muscle, all power. If you need to solve a problem, just smash it and crash it.
Hey, bro, it'd be really cool if you smashed that boulder. A swift smack should do the trick.
Kill, destroy, maim. Speaking of which, I don't know anybody who doesn't do that. So Bentley, he has all power, but he is so slow. That's one of the trade-offs for all the smashing power he can do. So you could say, he may move slow, he can't jump high, but this Yeti's one hell of a guy. Yeah, pulling out the references. If you want to jump, you press the X button, simple as that. If you want to crush things, smash everything, press the circle button. And he has one more hidden thing that the game's actually going to tell us about here in a second. The other reason I like Bentley, and mainly his levels, they didn't know what to do with all those gems, so they just put them in a lot of smashable chests that you can only get by using Bentley. So we're going to be collecting gems really, really quickly. But first, the new thing.
If you use your spin move to deflect the snowball into the gong, I bet we could make the roof cave in.
Probably one of the strangest choices for an alternate character, Bentley can spin his club so fast he can deflect projectiles and cause giant stalactites to fall. If you hold down the square button, you can deflect any projectiles, which is really, really helpful. So anyway, let's talk about this level. It's a pretty simple level. You're talking 600 gems and 3 eggs, just as normal. If you ever do get hurt, there are a few enemies that can... I'm kidding. There really isn't any enemies that can give you trouble at this point. Just look for the rabbits. You still working on that novel, Brian? I can't do a Stewie impression. It's probably a good thing that I can't. So here's another simple tutorial, big air quotes on that, of deflecting projectiles to defeat enemies. Not only can you deflect projectiles to solve puzzles, you can also use it to defeat enemies. And you'd think after a while, I would assume, if I were a seal, I would get really tired of throwing my snowballs to nothing. And then eventually, getting it pelted back at me so quickly that the simple G-force destroys me. So why else do I like Bentley? Well, he just seems like the nicest of all the characters. I believe it was designed to where all the characters were used in an equal amount of time, except for the last one. I think he got the shaft on how many levels you can actually play in it. But he's also kind of the most versatile. You see him going around smashing, destroying everything, but there's one minigame he does that completely drives me insane. And wow, he's slow.
Another gong! Great! I bet we could cause an avalanche with this one.
I say versatility as if it means something, but Bentley has one minigame where he actually, hangs up the club and puts on boxing gloves. Oh, we'll get to that when we get there, but you're probably going to hear me rage. I might actually rage quit Spyro because I hate that minigame.
A stinking Rhinoc has blocked the way with this box. It shouldn't be any problem for you to push it out of the way, though.
Do you even know who you're talking to? I can completely deal with this. Yeah, Bentley may be small, but he's got tons of strength being able to move stuff. And by the way, for those of you who like to cause destruction, pushing that off the cliff actually gives you a skill point. Kind of one of the weirder skill points. I mean, they just have it right there. Aw, cheer up, Charlie. You'll be able to do... Dude! Charlie, look at those moves! Your bedridden grandpa isn't going to stop you anytime soon. Look at those. Or maybe we should go to Magic Mountain, Charlie. It's been a long time since I've seen Charlie the Unicorn. Just tell me right now that I made a mistake. The interesting thing about the Spyro manual, believe it or not, I have it right here in front of me, and I'm going to read you Bentley's description. This is back in the day when manuals actually meant something. And also, our playable characters here are called playable critters. I guess they weren't characters. So get this. Bentley the Yeti. Giant and gentle Bentley has a heart of gold. He also has a huge club that takes no prisoners. When he gets mad, stuff gets smashed. Huge obstructions are no problem. He just pushes them out of the way. The only time he will lay down his club is to put on a pair of boxing gloves. Again, we'll get to that later, but I just love the little bios they give all the characters. In fact, this manual is pretty brilliant. I've been looking through all the older manuals in all of my older games, and they actually have a lot of flavor text. Which makes me wonder why we don't have it now. I mean, yeah, the cost of paper has skyrocketed. And when I first played this, as a kid, I didn't think Bentley could make it. But there's a small enough gap, so good job, designers. You didn't make this game unwinnable.
Thanks, bro. Here's a little something for your rock collection.
Thank you, brother. I bet you anything it's not a rock. Imagine that. I was absolutely right. Eric Stewart, we must make voices together. That's probably more of an inside joke than anything else. This level is actually already done, and I'm actually glad that door closed when Bartholomew went through it. I think if you were able to go in there, you might crash the game. It's one of those where his sprite disappears after he goes into the door just to save on space, and if we were to go in there, we probably would have broke the game. And there we have it. This level is complete. I don't know why they just chose to throw gems in multitudes in Bentley's level. I guess, when you have somebody who can smash those chests, why not give it to them? But now that we have unlocked Bentley, I'm actually going to meet you there. Let's go finish up one of the levels in Midday Gardens. Hello.
Thank you ever so much for opening the emergency bridge, Spyro.
That panda actually stopped me. I had no idea it said something else when you came in. And, oh yeah, I knew we should have unleashed the bridge immediately. Why didn't we do that before? No, well, it's not their problem. I am here to serve and protect the pandas. Also, while going back and looking at my footage, I noticed I missed the jar.
Ah, a fine day for a bit of a walk. I was just heading to the top of my favourite hill.
Ah, yes, the brilliant hill in Bamboo Terrace. So quiet and silent, you could say it's Silent Hill.
Hey, I think I saw some rhinocs run up to the top of that hill with an egg.
I wonder if you hit Bartholomew enough times, he'll actually get mad and hit you back. Seriously, I think that's one of the best additions into this game is being able to hit characters, hit NPCs. It's hilarious. I don't know anybody else who doesn't do it. This is actually a very, very long section. It's just going up a hill. There are adversities on the way up, and after we go through this boulder, I will show you. But I don't know how they expected you to avoid the obstacles they are going to give you on your way up the hill. I'll give you an example right here. Going up this hill, there's a rhinoc that will be pushing a boulder. That's simple. You just hit it. Well, in a manner of speaking. But right there, that TNT. All the years I've been playing this, even when I practiced, I couldn't figure out how to dodge the TNT. I'm sure it's possible. I'm just terrible at video games. That much is established. But this section is actually made harder on the fact that it's really hard to avoid those TNTs. It also doesn't help that Bentley is slow as dirt, and so maybe that's one of the reasons I can't avoid it. Since we have a bit more time and it's pretty much the same thing, kill bad guys, get gems, go to top of hill, let's actually talk about the other bios that the Playable Critter section has in the manual. Sheila the Kangaroo. A rare mountain kangaroo with tremendous back feet, excuse me. Sheila can jump to miraculous heights. She can also stay aloft using the air hop. When in danger, she can unwind a punishing kick. And if you're stomped by Sheila, you stay stomped. That sounds so ominous. Sheila, don't kick me! And Sergeant Bird. Sergeant Bird's is probably my favorite. It is hilarious. Sergeant Bird's already a pretty funny character, seeing as how he's a flying penguin with rocket launchers. But just see how the game describes him. And by the way, this TNT barrel is bullshit! Sergeant Bird. Meet the world's Meet the world's only flying penguin. Sergeant Bird was raised by hummingbirds, who taught him how to get airborne. Then he flew the coop. And joined the Air Corps. He developed the first BAM, bird-to-air missile. BAM launchers are mounted on his shoulders. Sergeant Bird can also pick up items and drop them with superb accuracy. What do you think of that, Brubeck? I think it's hilarious. What's also funny is, we'll read the last bio for the last character as soon as we unlock him, but also on here, in the first 2 Spyro games, in Spyro 1, you could unlock a demo for Crash Bandicoot 3. God, it took so long I forgot what I was going to say.
We sure made short work of those Rhinox. Aren't you glad I was here to help you rescue that baby dragon?
Excuse me, did you say we? That's what I think of you saying we. But in Spyro the Dragon 2, there was actually a demo for Crash Team Racing. So, keeping tradition alive, what was the other Crash Bandicoot game that came out? Crash Bash. I don't know if I'll show it in this one, seeing as how it's just a demo for a completely different game. But for those of you playing at home, if you hold down the R2 and L1 button and press the square button, you'll be able to play Crash Bash. Good for you. You'll be playing the Mario Party, the Crash Bandicoot version of Mario Party. There we go. That's what I meant to say. Oh my gosh, it actually is good that I forgot about this thing. I never would have found this. I wonder if I forgot any other gems around here. Wow. And imagine my surprise when going back in the editor, I was basically pulling my own hair out, figuring out that I left the jar here. By the way, this episode took a while to bring to you guys because my microphone died. Just imagine having to go through this entire episode and having your audio only to come back a bit later. Yeah, the audio was cutting out really bad, so I had to declare my microphone dead and gone. So now you're dealing with new audio. It probably makes me sound more annoying because this microphone picks up everything. Just like Sparks. The rest of these gems and that should be it. There we go. Level complete. Gotta go for the completionist route. We now have everything in Bamboo Terrace. Now it is time to head back to Evening Lake and actually start on those levels. But wait, there's more. Since we defeated Spike in the going to Evening Lake, let's go ahead and take on Sparks' level. This will mean we're completely done with Midday Gardens as soon as we're done here. And this Sparks level gives you one of the most helpful power-ups for Sparks, especially if you're a completionist. Let's head over to Zoe and see what she needs help with this time. What bug do we need to kill?
Hi, Spyro and Sparks. I found another lost egg. If Sparks is up to it, he can try to rescue it from Spider Town.
Ooh, Spider Town. Those of you who watch my Resident Evil Let's Plays, you know I absolutely hate spiders. So let's go, Sparks. Back into the fray. It's time to kill a bunch of spiders. But instead of doing that, I will read you more of the manual. The only reason I'm doing this is because this Sparks level is almost exactly the same. Nothing changes except for how the enemies react and these spiders explode. I don't know how they're doing this kind of scatter shot, but hey, whatever works. Just know that there's a lot more spiders on screen, so you can be crowded very easily. Just keep that in mind. Funny thing in the manual is they actually tell you the story of Spyro 3. And this is another thing of why I like manuals. They can put their own kind of shine on it. Like if there's something they couldn't tell you in the game, they could only tell you in the manual, that's what this is for. So, let's celebrate the Year of the Dragon. Every 12 years, the Dragon Kingdom celebrates its most important event, the Year of the Dragon Festival. So I guess this had to be released on the Chinese Zodiac Year of the Dragon, or else it wouldn't have made sense. Fairies deliver a new batch of dragon eggs, and dragons come from all around to dance and feast until everyone drops. From exhaustion. Oh, it's like I wrote this. The Year of the Dragon is upon us again, and the fairies have brought 150 eggs to the Dragon Worlds. keep that number in mind. If we ever look at the Atlas again, take a look at how many eggs we can actually get in the game. However, unbeknownst to the celebrating dragons, a sinister plot is about to unfold. Far away, on the opposite side of the world, lies a kingdom long since forgotten by dragonkind. So forgotten, in fact, that even the legends about these forgotten worlds have been forgotten. That makes no sense, guys. This kingdom is ruled by a mean and spiteful sorceress who has frankly become quite fed up with being forgotten. And she sits on her forgotten throne of forgottenness. And has hatched a fiendishly evil plan. Yeah, I see what you did there. A plan to restore the fading magic to her forgotten realm. A plan to conquer the dragons once and for all. All she needs is a little help from her army of horn-nosed Rhinox. By the way, don't do what I did here. Don't get crowded, and especially don't get cornered or else you'll die. The cooperation of her mysterious disciple Bianca, and of course, those 150 magical dragon eggs. And there's actually an image here next to it showing you the grand total of what you can get in the game. It actually shows 150 eggs. Now, in the Atlas, it shows 148. This game is hilarious when it comes to completion rate. Not only can you get 100%, that's completing all the levels and getting all the gems, but just like Spyro 1, you can get more than 100%. In this game, you can get 117% completion rate. That is enormous. That is hilarious. You can complete the game so much, you might as well be playing Enter the Dragonfly right after this, because you'll already be 17% done with the game. Even though Enter the Dragonfly wasn't the next number in the series, it pretty much is. It has older characters from the original Spyro trilogy. It just makes sense. And I probably won't be playing that one just because it's a broken mess. Oh wow, I forgot about this. In the manual, and I know I'm talking about the manual instead of the game, but I already gave you a reason why. They actually tell you about the Sparks levels. Now, when I was a kid, I always considered these levels to be kind of a secret. It's like, yeah, you're going through and beating the rest of the game, but did you know you can play as Sparks? This will be the thing you take to your friends at school and be like, I played as Sparks. Did you know you could do that? And I was also the kid that didn't read everything, so I never read the Sparks signs. Either that or I completely forgot about them. But the manual actually tells you about the Sparks levels and also spoils what you get as a result. Coming back and looking at this, I can't believe they actually did this. See, again, I always considered this to be like a secret, and what you got from it could also be considered a secret, because the things you get from the Sparks levels are actually very, very useful in the game and going for 117%. So why would you spoil the best part? This should be like, hey, I completed a Sparks level, what do I get this time? I had no idea, but no, this game just says, hey, guess what? This is what you're going to get. So after you beat the Crawdad Farm, it tells you get an extended range and speed. And I won't tell you what we get in here, I'll leave it a secret. So for those of you who actually have a legitimate copy of the game and can look in the manual, you'll know what we're getting later. But enough about that. It is time to fight the Spider King. The one thing about this boss is how many projectiles he actually shoots at you. Consider this now a bullet hell. But as soon as he unleashes his spiders, that's the one time that you can hit him. Because as soon as you kill all of his spiders, he will continue to spin. And also, after he unleashes his spiders, he will continue to spin as well, and you can't hurt him while he's spinning. So, the strategy I went with is as soon as he spits out those spiders, immediately shoot at his mouth and try to kill as many as you can. You'll notice that they do take a couple more hits. I kind of wish I would have kept some of my extra firepower for this, because that would have taken him out in no time. And also, I don't know if it's just this boss's pattern or how he's fighting me, but if there are spiders on the field, he will not stop spinning until that last spider is dead. So that's another thing to keep in mind. The boss can be, I wouldn't say tricky, more counterproductive. I don't know what I want to say. It's just you have to kill the spiders in order to get him to stop. And he needs like one more hit, and so do I, so let's have an epic duel to the death! Yes! Tootie! For defeating the Spider King, I will help you catch that Timmy Turner! I wish I couldn't be recognized. I really need to go back and watch Fairly Odd Parents, but from what I've heard, it hasn't gotten better with age. Another Sparks level down! Zoe, what is my prize? Surely it must be something better than extended range. Well, actually, for 100%ing this game, this is the most useful thing you can get.
Excellent work, Sparks. And I see that you've gained another new ability. Now, if you hold down the L1, L2, R1, and R2 buttons at the same time, Sparks will point to any treasure still hanging around.
This is so nice. I can't show it to you here, I'll have to go to a level with actual gems in it, but if you are ever missing that one gem, the one that curses me every time I try to 100% complete something, you just hold down the L and R buttons, and Sparks will point to the gem. That is brilliant! I can't praise these guys enough for thinking of doing this. The next power-up we'll be getting from a Sparks level, you could debate whether that is better than this power-up, but I think this one is pretty awesome. So, we have finished up Bentley's level and Sparks' new level. Next time on Spyro Year of the Dragon, let's take on Evening Lake. I will see you guys next time.